Now, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has opened up on the bromance fallout between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Susie Wiles told Miranda Devine on an episode of Podforce One that the president was very good to Elon Musk, but their relationship had a very troublesome ending.
He knew things we didn't know. He knew people and technologies that we didn't know. It was a great thing when it was a great thing, and I had a very troublesome ending.
Why do you think that happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't know. I know that what has been said doesn't ring accurate to me, but I don't know. I enjoyed working with Elon. I think he's a fascinating person and sees the world differently. And I think that's probably what the president saw too, just a little bit different than the average Joe. But it certainly came to not a good ending.
James, it doesn't appear as though they'll be patching things up anytime soon, especially now that Elon wants to launch this third political party.
No, I mean, I was slightly surprised just by how conciliatory Susie Wiles was in that clip. I mean, she's not really going after Elon or attacking him or criticizing him. She said it was a great thing when it was great and it had a bad ending. And it sounds like that's the closest thing to the truth that we've had. I don't necessarily buy that the falling out was over the debt and energy credits. I mean, Elon Musk knew about these energy credits being removed and these EV mandates being removed months prior to this bill's passage. So I don't think that's the whole story. And Trump is a fascinating man as well. He likes to surround himself with titans of industry, with intelligent people, and the best of the best. So you could see why this partnership was going to be a successful one. And it's just a shame that it ended the way it did. Now, Musk's third party plan, the America Party, as he calls it, it's a fool's errand. That's never going to take off. Third parties are always doomed to fail in America. And I think this is a little bit of a bruised ego, trying to speak out, trying to emphasize that he still has some influence. But look, just take a peek at his Tesla stock after he made that announcement. It's down by 7%. So I think for the time being, Elon would be doing everyone a favor by just stepping away from politics for a little bit, focusing on his great companies and returning with a bit more of a level head.
Yeah, I think you're right there. James, I've just returned from New York City, which could be in a bit of trouble or a lot of trouble if socialist, radical, anti-Israel Zohran Mamdani becomes mayor. Now, I was there for the 4th of July weekend, and of course, 4th of July is a day where patriots just show how proud they are of their country, as well as the sacrifices that the heroes have made to protect the United States of America. Yet Zohran Mamdani has shown really no gratitude for America and the opportunities he's been afforded. Here is Vice President J.D. Vance blasting him for disrespecting America on Independence Day.
There is no gratitude in those words. No sense of owing something to this land and the people who turned its wilderness into the most powerful nation on earth. Zohran Mamdani's father fled Uganda when the tyrant Idi Amin decided to ethnically cleanse his nation's Indian population. Mamdani's family fled violent racial hatred, only for him to come to this country, a country built by people he never knew, overflowing with generosity to his family, offering a haven from the kind of violent ethnic conflict that is commonplace in world history, but it is not commonplace here. And he dares, on our 249th anniversary, to congratulate it by paying homage to its incompleteness and to its, as he calls it, contradiction.
J.D. Vance continues, that's only a snippet of his speech, but he's absolutely right for calling Mamdani out for this.
Completely. And it's such a striking difference from civil rights leaders in the past, people like Martin Luther King, who would always stress that the sort of beauty behind America's idealism and its founding principles. And he would be calling on Americans to hark back to those principles. It seems like Mamdani's doing the complete opposite. He's almost shunning those principles and saying, we have to do better. We have to do something different. Now, I did a lot of reporting on Mamdani in the lead up to this Democratic primary, and there were just so many inescapable truths. One being that nearly all his canvassers were white. They were all pretty well off. And almost all the working class voters that I spoke to did not support Mamdani. And that was borne out by the data in that Democratic primary result. We saw most voters earning over $100,000 supporting Mamdani, even people living on Wall Street. And then you had people earning less than $50,000 supporting Cuomo. So how can you frame yourself as the man of the man of the people, when in essence you're essentially a servant of the almost rich, the not quite rich? And the whole thing just is a striking paradox the Democrats are going to have to deal with going into not only the midterms in 2026, but also the presidential election in 2028.